Hi, my name is Clayton Walters, and today I will be giving my oral presentation on Aristotle, one of the many Greek philosophers, but arguably one of the most important and influential of all of them. Thomas Aquinas actually, during many of his famous works in philosophy, actually deemed Aristotle as the philosopher. While this isn't really about Thomas Aquinas, what is very important about this statement is that Thomas Aquinas, to deem Aristotle as the philosopher, even though Aristotle had died centuries before Thomas Aquinas even started writing, actually shows just how influential Aristotle was and just how important he was to philosophy and culture of Western civilization. And today I will be talking about two of his most famous works, the Prior Analytics and the Nicomachean Ethics. And to start, Aristotle was actually an ancient Greek philosopher. He first started as a student under Plato and later on went to teach Alexander the Great and then actually helped to teach at the academy in ancient Greece. And to start, I will be talking about Aristotle's Prior Analytics. And one of the more important parts of the Prior Analytics is actually called syllogism. And syllogism is a very important tool used in philosophical reasoning and debate. And it wouldn't be possible for us to be able to use this if Aristotle didn't exist. And to start, Dr. Marco Malink wrote that the Prior Analytics marks the beginning of formal logic, and Aristotle's main concern in this treatise is with deduction or syllogism. Now the question is, what is syllogism? So to start, the syllogism was written in the Prior Analytics around 350 BCE, and syllogism is important because it's a tool used for deductive reasoning through taking two subjects and using like terms to come to a logical conclusion. And Dr. Marco Malink also wrote that when three terms are related to one another, that the last is in the middle as in a whole, and the middle either is or is not in the first as in a whole, it is necessary that there is a syllogism of the extremes. For if A is predicated of all B and B of all C, then A is predicated of all C. And Elena Come del Junco actually wrote that Aristotle states that for a syllogism to count as a demonstration, the middle term must pick out the Asian, that an account of which a predicate term holds of a subject term universally. The explanation to Asian is the middle term, and in all cases it is which is being sought. And what is so important is that many people use this in philosophical debate, thinking, and even just kind of normal debate to reach a logical conclusion. And so without Aristotle, there would be syllogism, and it can be used as a tool that many philosophers use today. And next, Aristotle also wrote the Nicomachean Ethics, which is actually very important because it talks about the ethics of humanity and how we can all reach the good, or eudaimonia. And Aristotle came up with the concept eudaimonia, or the good, in his Nicomachean Ethics, and is the main source to achieve eudaimonia is to lead a life of virtue and act virtuous. And Sukaini Hirigi wrote, sometimes in the Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle appears to describe virtuous acts as the sort of actions that are ends. It is important for Aristotle to do so if he wants to maintain that virtuous actions are constituent of eudaimonia. And she also wrote that the familiar problem raised by Aristotle's discussion of the nature of virtuous actions proposed a solution to this problem by appealing to a distinction between virtuous actions and acting virtuously, and sketched the significance of the solution for understanding the relationship between virtue and human happiness. And Aristotle pretty much talks about how being virtuous and acting virtuous is how somebody can achieve the good life or the ultimate end. And he actually wrote straight from his Nicomachean Ethics that now those activities that are choice-worthy for their own sake, from which nothing beyond the activities is sought, and activities on the basis of virtue seem to be of such a state for to do good and noble actions is choice-worthy for its own sake. And it's so important to have these tools and to have these certain forms of philosophical thinking, logic, and forms of tools to use in philosophical reasoning that without Aristotle, it just wouldn't be possible, and we wouldn't have such great works as from Aristotle to Thomas Aquinas to maybe even a few other philosophers in the more recent times. And Aristotle is so important, and that is why Aristotle is the philosopher. Thank you.